Hiya Sam, great to see you today. Just to recap on the work that we did during your session, a number of issues that you've been experiencing: choppy sort of with the driver, iron shots where you're struggling to control distance, struggling to hit a draw shot where you actually want to set the ball out to the right, etc. Couple of key things we need to do here. First of all, you're obviously a very good player. We don't want to change too much. This doesn't require a rebuild. What we're going to do is work with what we've got. We've got to look at your tendencies. You're a player who tends to get a little bit long in regards to the shaft of the golf club during your backswing. So from a really good setup position, you take the club back, good strong position at that point, and then you just get a little bit long in the club. You see there how the club head disappears behind your arms. So we get a little bit long during the backswing in regards to the shaft of the golf club. And again, if we look at you from face on, good setup position, nice one piece takeaway, no problems there, good position at that point, really good coil, good move behind the ball, but we're just going to get a little bit long. This was one of your later swings and the shaft's actually in a shorter position there than it would normally be, but you can see that you've lost a little bit of width here at the top of your backswing and the shaft's gone a little bit long. Also, what the tendency is then is to create quite a lot of lag during your downswing. So we get from a long position, we get quite narrow as we start the downswing. There's a lot of leverage, there's a lot of hinge in the wrist. And the problem you've got with that is whenever you use your wrist that much in the backswing and during the downswing or the early part of the downswing, you're going to have to release those angles very quickly in a short space of time. That's going to result in a club face that's flashing past you during the hitting of the golf ball, and a situation where really the club's lagging so far behind you coming into the hitting area. We have a little look at this from down the line. Club's lagging so far behind you, you know, your body's at impact there and your club's nowhere near it, that you've got to put the brakes on the body. The energy then goes up, the legs straighten, and because the body's so square at impact, because it's stopped turning, the arms are just flung out in front of you. So you've been trying to improve this move here, where the arms are going away from you, and unfortunately it doesn't matter how hard you try to improve that position if the unwinding of your body isn't improved. So the clearance in your hips, if your hips don't open, you haven't got room to swing your arms back on the inside, so the arms are just flung out in front of you, and a lot of the times you're just rescuing the shots with the hands. That sort of move, you know, long in the shaft, a lot of down lag, and then a really sort of violent flicky release through the hitting area is a nightmare, because the problem you've got as a better player is if you mistime it, it's a big miss, and it can be a big miss in either direction, which is going to ruin a card, and all the hard work that you may have done for 9, 12 or 16 holes can be of no benefit whatsoever because you ruin it with one missed time swing. Although timing is always going to be a factor, we don't want to be as dependent on it. So what we've done is we're going to try and shorten the backswing up a little bit in regards to what the shaft does. And we take a little look at this footage here of Paul Casey. What you're going to see now is if I just run you to the top and pause you at the top of your backswing, you're going to see a lot of similarities in regard to the body movement that you make. So you look at the position your body's in at the top, but no similarity whatsoever in regards to the position at the shaft of the golf club. You can see the Casey's golf club at the top, and this is what I want you to try and focus on before I see you next. The feeling I want you to have is that the golf club's head is above your hands. So club head above your hands. As you can see, it progressed nicely towards that at the end of your lesson, but we don't want that club getting below your hands. From that position, what you're going to see here with Casey is as he drives forward into his left side, he maintains his width during the downswing. You can see there's not a hint of that shaft getting nearer his right shoulder. You can see there that he maintains his width. So if you look at the position he's in midway down, and we compare that to the position you get into midway down, you can see that there's a down lagging. You're hanging on to that angle too much because you've had too much angle to start with. Look at the difference in the angle of the shaft at that point. Casey's release is a gradual release from the top. It's not a very risky looking position at the top. Fewer moving parts, relies much less on timing of his hands and much more on the unwinding of his body. If we can get the bigger muscles of your swing controlling things, back, chest, core, etc., we're going to have much more consistent control of that club face. So you can see the much wider, more gradual release than what we're seeing with yourself, which is hung on to and then released at the last minute with that flicking of the hands. So as the lesson progressed, we sent you away, we asked you to work splitting the hands on the grip. That's going to encourage you to use your body a little bit more, to slow the arms down a little bit, and just get your arms and your body synced up, reduce the flipping of the wrists coming through impact. Towards the end of the lesson, you can see the much shorter position at the back. We run you through here to the top of your backswing. You see how the club disappears behind your arms at that point, whereas on this one, the club doesn't disappear behind your arms quite as much. You can still see the club head. As a result, the club is less behind you as it's coming into the hitting area. The hips have cleared much better, and you've been able to, even though it doesn't look substantially different at that point, if we just run you through into your follow through at this point here, and we run your original swing through into the same position, look at the angle of the shaft. Whenever you get someone flipping the club through impact, so releasing the club too much, arms going away from them, you're going to see a shaft angle that's very much this way down to the ground. And when we get this quieter release and we get the club working low and left, we're going to see a shaft angle much more along the shoulder line. You can see there that it's nowhere near as steep in the follow through. So the shaft angle has started to change. Follow through is a result of your swing. So you're seeing signs there that the through swing is starting to work a little bit more on the inside. And the more you work on this, the more that's going to improve. Like I said, great seeing you. You're a good player. You don't need to rebuild things. What you need to do is identify your core tendencies and start to combat them with everything you do. So every time you practice, there's got to be an element of you reducing the amount of wristing on the way back and increasing the width on the way down. Good luck with it, and I'll be in touch in a couple of weeks' time. Well done.